Let's face it, when we talk about investing, the first thing that comes to mind is usually big money. You might be thinking, how can I invest? I don't have thousands of dollars lying around. But here's the thing, compounding is like planting a seed. You don't need a giant tree to start with, you just need a tiny seed. That $1 a day? It's your seed. And with time and a little patience, it can grow into something truly incredible. Now you might be asking yourself, why start with $1? Why not wait until you have more? The thing is, when it comes to compounding, time is your best friend, not the amount you start with. The sooner you start, the more time your money has to grow. And that's the key to turning even a small amount into something significant. Starting with $1 isn't about the amount itself. It's about building a habit. It's about proving to yourself that you can take control of your financial future, no matter where you're starting from. When you start with just $1, you're setting the stage for bigger things to come. You're creating a mindset of growth, and that's where the real power of compounding lies. The real magic behind compounding is time, the secret sauce that makes compounding so powerful. I can't stress this enough. Time is your best friend when it comes to growing wealth. The longer you let your money sit and compound, the more it grows. Let's look at an example to make this more real. Imagine you start with just $1 a day, and you manage to earn an average of 7% interest per year. Now, 7% might not sound like much, but it's actually the average return rate for the stock market over the long term. After 1 year, you've put in $365, but with interest, you'll have approximately $380. Not a huge difference yet, but remember, this is just the beginning. Fast forward 10 years, those daily dollars plus the interest they've earned will have grown to over $6,000. And you've only contributed $3,650. That's the power of compounding. It's like getting free money, just by being patient. But here's where it gets even better. If you keep going, by year 20, you'll have over $15,000. And by year 30, more than $34,000. And all of this started with just $1 a day. But if you wait, if you keep telling yourself, I'll start when I have more, you're losing the most precious resource, time. Even a small amount, given enough time, can grow into something substantial. It's the ultimate proof that every dollar counts. Let's get into the emotional side of things. We've all been there. Saving a few dollars feels great at first, but then life happens. Maybe your car breaks down or an unexpected bill comes in, and suddenly that $1 you've been saving seems pointless. You think, what's the point? This isn't going to make me rich. But here's the thing. Compounding isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a long game. And like any long game, there are ups and downs. The key is to stay the course even when it feels like you're not making progress because, and this is important, compounding rewards patience. It's about consistency, not perfection. Missing a day or even a month doesn't ruin everything. It's about the overall trend, the steady progress over time. Think of it like planting a tree. You don't dig it up every week to see if it's growing. You water it, give it sunlight, and trust the process. Some days you might not see any growth at all, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Compounding works the same way. You might not see big results right away, but over time, those small, consistent contributions grow into something much bigger. I know what some of you might be thinking, but I'm not rich. I can't invest like those big-time investors. And that's exactly why I wanted to make this video. Compounding is not just for the wealthy. It's for everyone, including you. The whole idea that you need a ton of money to start investing is a myth. And it's one of the biggest obstacles that keeps people from growing their wealth. Think about it this way. A rich person who invests $10,000 and a person who invests $1 both experience the same principles of compounding. The percentages are the same, the time is the same, and the effect is the same. The only difference is the starting amount. But here's the truth. Most wealthy people started small. They didn't wake up one day with millions. They built it over time, little by little, just like you can. One of the biggest barriers to starting small is the feeling that it's not enough. You might think, what's the point? $1 isn't going to make a difference. But let me tell you, It does make a difference. The truth is, you don't need a lot to start. You just need to start. Even if it's $1, $5, or whatever you can afford, it's enough. Because the act of starting is what matters most. Think of it like exercising. If you want to get fit, you don't start by lifting the heaviest weights or running a marathon. You start with small, manageable steps. Maybe it's just a short walk or a few minutes of exercise each day. Over time, as you build strength and endurance, you can do more. It's the same with money. Start small, and as your financial muscles grow, you can increase your contributions. Here's something we don't often talk about when it comes to compounding psychology. When you start small, like with $1 a day, it might seem insignificant. But every time you see your account grow, even if it's just by a few cents, it feels like a win. And those small wins are incredibly powerful. When you start small, you remove the biggest barrier most people face when it comes to investing: fear. Many people think they need a lot of money to start investing, and that thought alone keeps them from taking action. But when you start with just $1, that fear starts to fade. You're not risking much, so there's no reason not to try. This approach helps you build confidence. As you see that $1 grow, you begin to understand that the amount isn't what's important. It's the habit of investing and allowing your money to work for you. It's about seeing the potential in every dollar you have, no matter how small. Another powerful aspect of starting small is that it teaches you patience. Compounding isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a long-term strategy. By starting with just $1, you're training yourself to think long-term, to value steady growth over time. And this mindset shift is what ultimately leads to financial freedom. Let's get into the practical side of things. How can you realistically turn $1 into hundreds? It starts with understanding the snowball effect of compounding. Think of it like this. Imagine you're rolling a small snowball down a hill. At first, it's tiny, and you might think it's not doing much. But as it keeps rolling, it gathers more snow, getting bigger and bigger until it becomes this massive snowball. That's exactly how compounding works with your money. So you start with $1. You invest it, and it grows a little. Then you add another dollar and another, each time allowing your money to compound on itself. The growth might seem slow at first, but over time that growth accelerates. The snowball gets bigger. And the beauty of it is, the longer you keep it going, the bigger the payoff. Another aspect of compounding that often gets overlooked is the compounding of knowledge. When you start saving and investing, you naturally start to learn more about money, finance, and how the world of investing works. This knowledge is incredibly valuable because, just like your money, it compounds over time. Let me break it down. When you start with that first $1, you might not know much about investing, but as you watch your money grow, even if it's just a little bit, you become curious. You start reading articles, watching videos, maybe even talking to others about their experiences. The more you learn, the better decisions you make. And these better decisions lead to better returns, which in turn motivates you to learn even more. It's a cycle of growth, both financially and intellectually. This compounding of knowledge doesn't just help you with your current investments, it prepares you for future opportunities. As your financial literacy grows, so does your ability to navigate the financial world, seize new opportunities, and avoid common pitfalls. In essence, the journey of compounding your money also leads to the compounding of your financial wisdom, which can have an even greater impact on your life. Now, I want to share some stories that highlight the power of compounding, even when starting with a small amount. These are real people who started with little and let compounding work its magic over time. Take, for example, the story of Grace Groner, a woman who worked as a secretary for most of her life and lived modestly. She bought 3 shares of a company's stock for $60 back in 1935. Grace didn't sell those shares. Instead, she let them sit and compound. By the time she passed away in 2010, her modest investment had grown to over $7 million. She didn't need to be a financial genius. She just needed patience and the power of compounding on her side. Then there's the story of Ronald Reed, a janitor and gas station attendant who quietly amassed an $8 million fortune through savvy investing and letting his investments compound over decades. Ronald's story is a testament to the fact that you don't need a high income to build wealth. What you need is the discipline to save and the patience to let time do its work. These stories aren't exceptions. They're examples of what's possible when you start small, stay consistent, and believe in the power of compounding. They show that financial success isn't reserved for the wealthy or the well-educated. It's available to anyone willing to start and stick with it. Okay, so now that you're pumped about the power of compounding, let's talk about how you can get started. 1. Start today, no matter how small. The most important step is to start. Don't wait until you have more money. Start with whatever you can. Whether it's $1 a day or $5 a week, the key is to get the ball rolling. 2. Automate your savings and investments. Set up automatic transfers to your savings or investment accounts. This ensures consistency and makes the process effortless. 3. Educate yourself. The more you know about investing and personal finance, the better decisions you'll make. Take advantage of free resources like books, podcasts, and YouTube channels to increase your financial literacy. 4. Reinvest your earnings. When you earn interest or dividends, reinvest them. This accelerates the compounding process and helps your money grow faster. 5. Be patient and stay consistent. Compounding is a long-term game. Stay the course, even when progress seems slow. Remember, the magic happens over time. 6. Track your progress. Keep an eye on your growth. Seeing your money grow, even if it's just a little at first, is incredibly motivating and will keep you committed to your financial journey. As I said, time is the one thing you can't get back. Every day you wait to start compounding, you're losing potential growth. That's why it's so important to start today, even if it's just with $1. Yes, when you're investing just $1 a day, it's easy to get caught up in short-term thinking. You might look at your account after a month or two and think, this isn't doing anything. But compounding is a long game. It's not about quick wins, it's about sustained growth over time. Think of it like planting a tree. You don't plant a seed and expect a full-grown tree the next day. You water it, you give it sunlight, and you wait. Eventually, that tiny seed grows into a towering tree that provides shade, fruit, and beauty for years to come. Compounding is the same. Be patient, be consistent, and trust the process. As we near the end, let's bust a few myths about compounding. First, you don't need a financial advisor to start compounding. Sure, if you have complex investments or a large portfolio, an advisor can be helpful. But for most people, especially when you're starting with small amounts, you can absolutely do it on your own. Second, you don't need to be a math genius to understand compounding. The basic principle is simple. Your money makes money, and that money makes more money. There are plenty of tools and calculators online that can help you see how your money will grow over time, so don't be intimidated by the numbers. Finally, compounding isn't just for people with steady incomes. Even if your income is irregular or you're living paycheck to paycheck, you can still benefit from compounding. Start with whatever you can manage, even if it's just a few cents a day. The important thing is to build the habit and let it grow from there. So, where does all of this lead? What's the end game? For many people, it's financial freedom. It's the ability to live life on your terms without being chained to a paycheck. It's having the security to handle emergencies, the freedom to pursue your passions, and the comfort of knowing that your future is secure. And the best part? It all starts with just $1 a day. That's the power of compounding. It's simple, it's accessible, and it's incredibly powerful. You don't need to be rich to start, but starting can help you build wealth over time. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. The power of compounding is available to everyone. It doesn't matter how much you start with. What matters is that you start. Whether it's $1, $5, or whatever you can afford, the important thing is to take that first step and let time do its work. Start today. Start small. But just start. Don't get caught up in thinking you need a lot of money to make a difference. That single dollar in your pocket, it has the potential to grow into something truly life-changing, thanks to the power of compounding.